Prime XBT.
All right. I forgot to turn on the microphone. I'm glad I figured that out. All right. So now that that's fixed, I can just repeat what I've just said. Welcome everyone. Today we are going to take a look at Bitcoin, right? I think there should be sound right now, right? It should be all right, right? I'm getting some delays, obviously, so I'm just gonna put up my hand to see how. Yeah, got some delays here, obviously, but it's not too bad. All right, perfect. So today is gonna be a big Bitcoin special. We're gonna take a look at Bitcoin, and I mean, Bitcoin is bullish. I mean, there's no denying the fact that Bitcoin is high time frame bullish. And why are we high time frame bullish? Well, basically, we broke above 10.5k. Breaking above 10.5k means we are high time frame bullish. It doesn't matter if we had a dump today, and we're going to be talking about that dump. Obviously, I'm just going to run the intro, and afterwards we're going to start right away with Bitcoin. Alright, so I want to talk about the weekly chart first and foremost. So the weekly chart for Bitcoin is still looking beautiful. So the thing is, like, it's very easy to get used to price being above 12k as soon as price actually hits and trades above 12k, right? It's easy to look at the chart and keep saying, like, when the daily is up here, this move is just continuing to the upside, is continuing, and all of a sudden you get this dump, right? And it's normal to panic, especially if you are in a position, right? But the important thing to realize here is, like, understand what just happened here, right? We're gonna look first at the weekly time frame here to get a more zoomed out view, and we will talk about the the importance of breaking above 10.5k, and that was really a very important move for Bitcoin, because of the fact that if you remove this RLC right here, you will see that this right here can even use the replay function to really get a good idea of how the chart looked before this breakout, right? A lot of people were bearish, right? Got some people being bullish. I mean, CryptoBurb, actually, we posted a call on this in the Burb Nest, and we posted a long and caught it pretty nicely. So not everyone was bearish, but the sentiment was really, I mean, the sentiment was really bearish, right? Do we know if there was one whale dump? I have no idea. I don't know what or who or whatever happened. I don't care who or what or when or whatever. All I care about is the technicalities of this move and the dump that followed, right? I'm gonna show you why it's absolutely according to technical analysis. Absolutely according to there's nothing out of the ordinary, right? This is just Bitcoin, right? This is just Bitcoin. Get used to it. If you're new in crypto, this type of shit happens all the time, right? All the time. So get used to being stopped out on weird price action over the weekends. That's why I don't trade on weekends. I enter nothing on weekends, and I don't want to be in a lot of positions on the weekends. This is why we posted a very clear Bitcoin report in the Burb Nest saying that this is where very likely high time frame resistance. And what happened? Well, it acted as resistance, right? So we got a pretty big dump. I remember saying yesterday, yesterday morning when I had the Bitcoin report, I wrote to you guys that be careful long in Bitcoin up here, because it's most likely going to get reacted up here, and if we are going to see a reaction, it's most likely going to happen up here, right? So hopefully you guys did not enter a long on Bitcoin. We did enter a couple of longs on, for example, LTC, Litecoin. It didn't work out that well, obviously, with this dump, but that's just, I mean, nobody was really prepared for this huge of a dump, right? So back to the chart. This is how the chart looked pre-breakout, right? So pre-breakout, a lot of people were bearish, me including, because we were trading below range EQ, but that was actually a not the correct range. So whatever, we're not going to go into any details on that, because maybe we're not ever going to see Bitcoin below 10k again. I know that's a meme and it's just stupid to say something like that, but really guys, I mean, if we bounce up 10.5k and reclaim 12k, I mean, that's incredibly bullish, incredibly bullish. So if that happens, I mean, I think it's bye 10k, right? So this is how the chart looked, right? And we got this breakout. Now, what are we looking for here, right? Well, you know, so when this breakout happened right here, we were really looking for a rounded retest, right? We were looking for and I remember saying this in all my Bitcoin videos and my lives, like we were ready to see a reaction here and the retest of this area. Now, what happened, right? So we're going to look at what actually happened here, right? So what happened was we got rejected up here and we retested the area below, right? So it's very much according to the technicals that we already talked about. But I mean, do we expect a dump like this? Of course not. Of course not. I mean, yeah, we did not expect something like that, but it happened, and we did retest 10.5k. I had no orders in there because, like I said, I'm not interested in trading on the weekends. But what I'm interested in is checking where the weekly candle will close. And honestly, for me, any weekly close above 10.5k is extremely bullish. Got the weekly close coming up in 6 hours. So there's a very high probability that the weekly close will be bullish, right? Now, the problem with this whole analysis, whole idea, is the fact that I wanted to see a weekly close above 10.5k and then a rounded retest on the daily of 10.5k. And because of the characteristics and the nature of this dump right here, I think it's still likely that we are going to get a rounded retest on the daily down into this region. And I wanted to be in a controlled manner. I don't want it to be a crazy flash crash or flash dump or whatever you want to call it, like we saw today. I want it to be in a, you know, a slow and steady controlled manner. That's where you get the high probability retest trades, right? This right here is just not something I would want to be buying unless, and this is very important guys, the high time frame resistance area above that we got reacted from, unless we reclaim that area. If we reclaim this area, I would be interested in a long. Between these two, not very interested, right? If we can start to see Bitcoin range in this area, that would be great, right? Because we could get some really good opportunities on altcoins, right? And we're now going to add the RLC to the chart right here. And the RLC is the area between the, I'll show you. So we're going to select the high up here to the low down here. That will bring up the short RLC. And basically what that is the area between the 618 and the 786. If you don't know what the RLC is, the RLC stands for reload zone. And it's usually an area where if you're going to see a reversal, it will most likely happen inside the RLC. This is short RLC. And if you want to find the long RLC, you select the low to the high of the previous move. So you do it like this, right? And you can see that we at least we bounced off the RLC very nicely here, right? And we never really traded far below the RLC on the weekly from a weekly closing perspective here. So it kind of makes sense to really use the RLC in your analysis, especially on the higher time frames. So with this in mind, it's actually, I mean, it's actually not a stupid idea to, you know, think that the really important area to reclaim for Bitcoin is the top of the RLC being around 12K. So reclaiming 12K, that's obviously going to be the single most important factor to determine the future health of this market phase that we are in, because we are still inside the short RLC, and like I said, if you're going to get a reversal, it's going to happen inside the short RLC. But ignoring that, I think that the bullish signs for Bitcoin is just way stronger than the bearish sign, right? So I want to ask you guys something, like, write in the chat, do you think that we are going, like, do you think this is the start of the bull run, or do you think we are going to go below 10K and start a move further, right? Because what we could get is a weekly fake out where this weekly candle closes above and the next weekly candle closes below the 618. And if that happens, we might actually, you know, a lot of people get trapped. We might see a continuation of this weekly trend to the downside. So do you guys think we are basically what I'm saying is, are you bullish for this move for Bitcoin, or are you looking for downside continuation? And if you are looking for downside targets, where would you be looking at? And if you're looking at a move to the upside, where would you be looking at? So basically what I'm looking at is I'm looking at a bounce around 10.5K. Why? Because it's, you know, last you know, it's the retest of 10.5K, and with this dump right here, I mean, if we got bought up very nicely here, if we can close the weekly above here, I'm gonna show you on the 4-hour chart right here. I mean, look at how beautifully price is reclaiming the middle of the RLC and start to trade upwards. So this is just, in my opinion, very bullish price action. Closing above, you know, reclaiming 12K where we got reacted would be extremely bullish, right? So this is really a very interesting level to watch. If we get a nice move down into this area again, I will actually start to get in on a fat long down here. Right now I'm only, you know, spot long on my I am long BTC because I own BTC, right? So I'm spot long, right? But I'm looking to enter a leverage trade to really get the risk on Bitcoin, because I think it's ready to really enter all crypto markets, right? I think this is the time that we have been waiting for. This is the start of the bull run, right? It's very likely the start of the bull run. And that feels unbelievable because we've been waiting for this for quite some time, right? We've been waiting for 10K to break. We've been waiting for 10.5K to break for quite some time. And the upside targets and the upside potential here is, well, you guessed right? The area that I'm watching is all-time highs, right? I think it's quite likely that if this is the start of a new weekly uptrend, we are going to hit 20K. I think that's just very likely. Are we going to hit 20K? Well, obviously I can't answer that. Nobody can. You can, I can't, and we never know, right? But we can look at the past price action for Bitcoin and really say that the weekly trends tend to yeah, like the video. I would really appreciate that, like John Van Den Reek said in chat. If you like what I'm doing, please leave a like. That means that if you leave a like on the video, it has higher probability to be popping up elsewhere on YouTube, and we get some more people in here, and we get some more likes and whatever. And yeah. So yeah, like the video, I would very much appreciate that. And also, I would like to thank ETHBTC for sponsoring me and sponsoring this channel. ETHBTC is the main exchange that I use when trading Forex, and I'm also using that as exchange when I'm scalping Bitcoin. So if you're a crypto trader and you're trading Forex right now, or maybe you want to try out Forex, and really, if you're using technical analysis when trading Bitcoin or crypto, you can trade Forex too. It's all about market structure, support and resistance level. The same type of techniques you use in crypto will be useful in Forex too. So check it out. Use the link in the description below if you want to make an account on ETHBTC and try it out. The thing is, you can use your Bitcoin as collateral, so you can actually trade the Forex market by using your Bitcoin. So if you got some Bitcoin on Binance, just deposit it on ETHBTC, and they will actually increase your first deposit with 50%, so you can try out the Forex market. If you're in the Burb Nest, I would really recommend doing that and then checking out the Forex channel, where I post basically every Forex trade that I take. And you can just copy that and try it out on ETHBTC. And really, like, trust me, you're not going to be, sorry for trying it out, because if you're only trading crypto, you're really losing out on much of the action. Like, for example, I gotta show you this quick. I know that most of you are not interested in Forex, but I gotta show you this, right? This is a trade we took on Australian dollar versus CAD, right? So this is a 6.3 R trade, which means that you win 6 times the amount that you risk. Now that's exactly the same type of stuff you get in crypto, right? Sure, with crypto you can get way larger moves, but I mean, a 6R trade, it's still going to be a 6R trade no matter if you're trading crypto or Forex. And the thing here, all I did was enter on the 4-hour trend to the upside. So you have a very clear 4-hour trend to the upside here. You get highs here, highs taking out, you get a rounded retest. So with every bounce, you have a potential long entry, right? So you can enter long right here, enter long right here with a stop below this wick or this wick, like I did here. I entered long right here with a stop below this wick, and it turned out pretty beautifully, right? So check it out, guys. You will not be disappointed. Forex is not that advanced as you think. Crypto, on the other hand, I think crypto is way more advanced, because you actually have to look at the BTC dominance, the altcoin dominance. When trading Bitcoin and when trading altcoins, you really have to keep an eye on Bitcoin. If you're in too many altcoins and Bitcoin pumps or Bitcoin dumps, you're gonna get fucked, right? So you're gonna lose a lot of money on your altcoin positions and your BTC holdings. So it's actually, for me, way more simpler to trade Forex. But I'm gonna be talking about that in another video that I will release on my YouTube. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. I will be releasing videos on hopefully a daily basis going forward, with educational content and live analysis about 1 to 2 times a week, and hopefully daily videos where I share different technical aspects, technical technique, TA, educational content, and whatever, right? So yeah, that's that. Bitcoin. Now, do we have anything else we want to talk about on Bitcoin? I think we could throw in a couple of Doctrine Request. So if you're interested in if you got any altcoins you want me to take a look at, you want me to take a look at LTC, Ethereum, whatever, just type it in the chat and I will make a list here and I will take a look at them for you. All right, so right now, right here on Bitcoin, I'm not. All right, Ethereum versus USD, we're gonna take a look at that one. I'm gonna write it, my little list I got here. Right, got Tezos, and of course LTC. So guys, like, if there's anybody watching this in the chats or whatever that's not part of the Burb Nest and want to check out a pretty awesome trading community, definitely send me a DM or send me a DM on Twitter or comment in the comment section below. or send me a DM on Discord, and I will explain a little bit more about it. So basically what we're doing in Burbness is, first of all, like these live streams that we're doing right now, we're actually doing this on a daily basis in the Burbnest, where the members get to ask like any questions they want, any shouting quests or anything like that. And a couple of times a week I'm going over a couple of technical aspects of trading that I'm using in my own trading, like how to use the fibs, how to use averages or whatever. So if you're interested in that, reach out to me and then I'll sort you out with a free trial. All right, so yeah, let's take a look at LTCUSDT. So obviously this was a trade that I posted. That I posted yesterday, I think yesterday, yeah. So this obviously did not turn out that well. We got stopped up. I mean, this stuff like this happens, right? We took out take profit 1, so we at least got some profits out of this one, and we did raise the stop loss. I'm pretty sure we did raise the stop loss on this one to, maybe this was actually the level that we raised it to. I can't remember, but I think or maybe we even raised the stop loss to this level right here. I think I had the stop loss. So shouldn't have been a loss, but still pretty sad that the stop loss got hit, because as you can see, it's still looking quite good, but we are using this level right here as resistance, right? It's important that we reclaim this area for continuation to the upside. So really what you got to do is you need to really I would say wait for this level to get reclaimed for I move higher. Right now it could very well be a bearish retest, right? So you will want to see the, let's just say $60 is going to be the area that needs to get reclaimed for LTC to move higher. Just like we have, it's kind of like this level around 11k for Bitcoin. We did reclaim that after this dump right here, so it's actually looking quite good. If Bitcoin were to be trading, below the midpoint of the RLC right here, so below 11k, right, I would definitely be more bearish, because that would obviously be a bearish sign, because we could very well see a bearish reaction of that level, right? So now let's take a look at Ethereum versus US. And we're also going to take a look at BAT. I had a member asking me in the Nest Club about BAT, and if it's worth holding BAT for the long term, or he entered the official call for BAT, but he never exited at the stop loss, and he's now wondering if it's worth to hold it as a long-term position. And I'm gonna talk a little bit about that, and why I think that's most of the time a very bad idea, right? But could also be a very good idea. I mean, yeah, let's take a look at it. So we got Ethereum versus USDT here, right? So this is actually looking quite good. I mean, yeah, this is not looking too bad. I mean, god damn, look at this. Filled this one absolutely perfectly, but did not have the orders in, of course, because I mean, who would have thought that we get this and then perfectly touch the entry zone for this setup? I mean, god damn, this is crypto, right? It's the weirdest fucking price action you could ever want to see on the chart, right? We're gonna take a look at Tomo too. Do you want to take a look at Tomo versus BTC or USDT? And Link, of course, we're gonna take a look at Link. We're gonna take a look at Link versus USDT and BTC because I really like Link and I'm very interested to see where Link is actually right now in this in the market cycle. So Ethereum, we're gonna start up by taking a look at daily. We're gonna remove this. It's not really valid right now. I mean this wick right here and how quickly this got bought out right here. I mean we could actually get a bullish daily close here. So Ethereum is actually looking very, very good. I mean this dump did basically nothing, right? Not even, it's nothing, right? It's way more, looks way worse on Bitcoin because we lost this level right here. But on Ethereum, we never lost this major support level. So yeah, Ethereum is looking very bullish. And if we can get a weekly close above 390, that, well, let's just say 400 is the level to reclaim, but really 390 is all right. So if we reclaim 390, I mean a good place to have your stop. I don't know how wide that is, but I mean, yeah, that's probably going to be too big. If you're in a long-term position, or if you're looking to enter Ethereum on a long-term position, I have two levels that's interested, right? Interesting. Either you put your stop loss below this red box around, you know, around 350 or below this wick. That's a 16% stop loss. It's quite big, right? So it all depends on your high time frame setup. But I mean, Ethereum is breaking bearish market structure here in a very, very beautiful manner, right? It's just, this one is going much, much higher. I think it's a very, very bullish. But I mean, this is resistance and it's going to act as resistance until proven otherwise. And right now, it haven't really proven itself to be anything else than resistance. So that's why I'm not going to long Ethereum right here. But I'm very interested in getting in on a long on Ethereum, obviously, because it's super, super bullish. All right, so what else do we want to look at? Well, I haven't really done any proper analysis on this. So we got what's up, Tanvir? Tanvir, I hope I'm not butchering that name completely. We're gonna talk about BAT in a minute. Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna do BAT. We got Link, and afterwards we'll take a look at Tezos, and afterwards we'll take BAT. Alright, so if you're new, if you just joined and you haven't liked the live stream, please leave a like. It's a very small gesture from you, but it means the world to me. It really does all the difference for me. Channel it really helps me to grow, and with this YouTube channel growing, we can also grow the Nest Club together with you guys. And yeah, so what I think it would be way clearer on the 1 hour here. Yeah, I mean, this dump right here, let's just ignore this wick. I don't think this wick right here, it just hits the support perfectly down here. I'm just gonna ignore that one because it's really not really, I know it sounds weird, but it's not really valid. I mean, we did get a bearish market structure here, right, on the hourly, but it kind of looks like we broke above this level right here, created, you know, confirmed a bullish market structure. We are still inside the resistance area, but I mean, we have a pretty good invalidation level here, right? So I'll put it, you know, somewhere in right there. And I mean, entering right here is probably not a extremely good idea, but honestly, it's not too bad. It's not looking too bad. So the setup would be, I'm not entering this. I just have to say quickly that I'm not entering this right now. I'm not your financial advisor. Do not follow me. Do your own own research. I'm not in Ethereum, right? So I have no entry level on Ethereum right now. I'm waiting for the weekly close. I'm not going to trade this on the weekend. I want to, like, especially with this weird price action we got today, I need to wait for price to actually develop, right? But I mean, we have, all right, so the best setup would probably be something like this, right? Where you wait for a reclaim of this area and a rounded retest, right? Something like that. Targets. Now let's talk about the targets right here. So we have quite, all right, so let's explain quickly what I use to determine my targets. As you can see here, I haven't added anything on the chart other than price action and, well, not price action, but price and horizontal levels, right? And that's really all you need in trading. That's really all you need to make money in trading. You need keep it simple. That's probably the best advice I can give to anyone if you're starting out trading and you want to become successful and profitable. Keep it simple. That's probably the single most best advice you can ever get in trading. Keep it simple, right? Right. So when I determine my levels to take profits, I basically look at the first profit area is going to be the first trouble area, and I'm thinking the first trouble area is going to be this general area because it's a very obvious support and resistance area, right? I'm gonna explain why. We had a very, a dump here that got quickly bought up at this level. We had a very nice bounce here again, broke down here, and this is really where it becomes interesting, right? This is the level that once broken started this whole move downside. So this is obviously a very interesting and important area for a take profit area. Now let's see if it makes sense, right? Let's put the first take profit. It needs to be above 1.1, obviously. It's at 1.69, so that's very acceptable as a take profit area. The next trouble area is basically going to be the next support area above, and I really like this area. These candle open and closes here on the daily, I really like that, and I like the high wick right here, and it's kind of reacting right here to that area too. So we're gonna front run that area just a little bit and use that one instead. The next level above is gonna be this area, right? And now let's see like which ones are more important, and I'm thinking we could probably use, that's gonna be one, and we then have this one. And that one. All right, so we got, how many take profits do we have on this one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's remove one. We want 4 because we want to take 25% off at each. We can have 5 or more, of course, but usually what I like to do is use 4 take profits. I'm probably going to remove one of these. And it has to be this one. So this would be the trade on Ethereum. Obviously a long-term trade, but I mean the risk reward is 15, so not too bad. Now what has to be remembered when looking at a trade like this, it's very important to enter, because the stop loss on this one is extremely tight, right? So you need to enter on a confirmed bounce. You can't just blindly buy the first rounded retest because the stop loss is too tight. If you want to do that, you need to have your stop loss below this area. That's going to bring your first take profit to, you know, a very bad level, not favorable at all. So you need to remove that one and put it up there. So you need to really rely on the momentum on Ethereum and hope that it really blasts through two pretty important resistance area, which is not really good trading procedure. Really, you want to take profits at the first trouble area. You can't ignore the first trouble area. It's very important, right? So wait for the confirmed bounce. And how would that look like? What are you looking for when I say a confirmed bounce? Well, first of all, you need some confluences in this level. So I'm gonna be adding the moving averages. See if we can find any confluences or anything that's gonna be bearish, whatever. We got the weekly, we got the daily, we got the 4-hour. These are really the only ones I care about, and really I'm not really seeing anything that's gonna support this idea from a moving averages perspective. And I would like to do in a time like that is I might actually use lower risk on this one. If we would have like the moving averages and a proper fib level here, I would in that case increase my risk because we have higher higher confluence, right? So that's what I'm looking on Ethereum reaction here, and I'm gonna be looking at, let's actually add the RLC of this. Got the 50% fib right there, and we'll add another RLC here. Find some good confluence here. Not really. Yeah, not really seeing anything here other than the fact that if we get obviously coming down to this area would be bearish, right? The trade is probably waiting for this level above to get reclaimed and long the rounded retest, right? So that's what I'm watching on Ethereum. Let's look at Tezos. We got the XTCBTC. I think I like this one on Bitfinex more. Binance. Yeah. So this right here is let's remove all of this. Yeah, I'll take a look at versus USDT too, but I just wanted to take a look at this one as well. So on the BTC pair, the level that needs to get reclaimed is one. All right. Kind of makes sense, right? I mean, this would be a decent trade, in my opinion. Wait for the rounded retest of this level. Stop below that level, and profit will probably be up in this area. Then look at continue out all-time highs. So that if that happens, it's important to remember though that the daily trend is bearish. All right, so let's take a look at XTC USDT. Yeah, so we haven't really figured out how to reclaim this resistance area. So I'm still looking at high. If I do this. Yeah, so reclaim this resistance area for a move higher. First take profit is going around 3.6, and then of course we got the all-time highs. That's what I'm watching on Tezos. Reclaim. If you want to be super safe, you should probably use open and closes right here on the daily. So reclaim 3. Let's just say 3.2. Yeah, reclaim 3.2, and we are probably going to get continuation upside. Right now, it's starting to look like a bearish market structure, so gotta be careful. But I mean, I would not be longing right at this very moment. But if in a long, I wouldn't be exiting either. All right, so let's take a look at. Yeah, I think I want to talk about the BAT right now. So we had a member in the Burb Nest who took this trade on BAT that unfortunately got stopped out, and it didn't really. It already dumped quite heavily around the 27th, and it didn't really see a huge dump against Bitcoin with this move today. Remove this setup right here. So the question is he going to stay in the position, or should he be selling, right? Well, if, like, first of all, when taking a trade setup, right, when watching the shot and you can see the setup, you first of all need to, before entering anything, what you need to do is you need to figure out the actual risk on the trade. So you need to size your position accordingly so that your risk isn't going to be too high, right? Basically what I mean is you can't risk losing too much money, right? So if price comes down and touches the stop loss area, now you should be out, because now the maximum amount of risk has been reached on that trade setup, right? But that's that. It's very bad practice to transform your short-term or medium-term position as a trade setup to a long-term investment, because that's usually how bag holders get created, right? People that get in on a trade, and when it starts moving against them, they keep telling like, well, maybe I'll just hold it. Maybe I'll just hold for a little bit longer, and then a year later, that they're stuck with a bag that's worth 95% less than it were bought it. But let's take a specific look at this specific setup right here, and maybe, I mean, I'm not saying that that's always going to be a bad idea, but 99.9% of the cases, it's going to be a bad idea. But in this case, maybe, I don't know, let's take a look at it, right? So the entry was at 2688, right? That's you know, that's the entry that we had on the setup, right? Stop loss is now hit, so the maximum amount of risk should be, and what's really worrisome here is the fact that we lost the 200 DMA and the 200 simple, I mean, without even bouncing off it. So this move down right here is not looking bullish at all. We broke this whole market structure right here. We had a very good chance of, you know, creating bullish market structure, but we dumped straight down and just crushed that whole market structure. Now on the weekly, you can also see the 21 EMA on the weekly got lost. Not a good thing, but we're still at this range low area. So for a long-term hold, this area down here is not a terrible level to be holding at. Because I do think that BAT is going to move up to at least range and later range high. When that's going to happen, I obviously have no idea. And we're also going to mark out the RLC of this latest up move, which will probably bring in RLC at the range low. So the long RLC is right now on range low, and you're actually trading inside the long RLC right now. But you can clearly see on a 4-hour market structure that it's quite bearish, right? And it kind of looks like we want to lose long RLC. If we lose this one, I would be very worried for BAT. So, I mean, if you're looking to hold this position, and also you might not want to exit this one because you're going to lose a lot of money. Well, that probably means that you've got a too big position, right? That's just probably have too big of a position, because if you, like, for example, when I'm entering a setup, I accept the risk, right? I accept the risk before entering. So I know that if I get stopped out, I'll get stopped out and I'll lose about 1 to 2% of my portfolio. That's all right. It's all right, right? But if I increase my position tenfold and I'm now risking 10% of my portfolio, which is huge, right? Which is a huge amount of money for me, right? That's gonna make me insane, right? I would probably not very well if I know that I had like 10% of my portfolio on the line. That's gonna bring a lot of stress. That's gonna bring a lot of pain and a lot of unnecessary emotional stress, right? So it's, guys, like, it's extremely important to size your position accordingly. If I'm posting a setup in the Burb Nest and I got a very bullish explanation, and I really did like BAT. I really did love BAT and this setup, but it didn't work out, and that's just the way it is, right? That's just the way it is. All setups can't work out, right? And this one didn't work out. Now, I'm still liking BAT from a high time frame perspective, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people did read the description and the call details, and they were probably thinking like, well, he's super bullish, so I'm going to increase my risk. And that's absolutely wrong, right? You will always have to use the proper amount of risk on every trade, right? And you got to have a limit. You got to have a limit, a roof of your risk. And for me, that limit is 4%. I never, ever risk more than 4% of my portfolio on any trade. And it's very seldom that I do that. Probably a couple of times a year, because it very rarely happens, but maybe 3 or 4 times a year I see a setup that you just get that feeling. I know it's wrong to trade up your feelings, but sometimes you get that feeling, right? When that whole, I mean, I've been trading for years, so I gotta give my intuition a little credit, right? When I see something and it's just something in the back of my head that tells me like everything just lines up, this is perfect, I'm super bullish, I can't see anything bearish in this setup, I increase my risk to 4%, and usually it works out. And when it works out beautifully, and those are the trades that make me a lot of the money, right? Like 1 or 2 of those trades can probably make a yearly profit for me. So sometimes like it could actually be one trade that's going to keep you profitable for the next year. And I mean, it sounds weird, but it's just, that's just the way it is. All right, so that's bad. I hope this brings some clarity. Now to the question, are you going to hold this for long term? Well, if you're going to hold this for the long term, you gotta ask yourself, am I okay with losing 40% more of my position? So you've already lost 20%. Am I okay with losing said 50%? Because that's where we're going, right? If we lose this one, we're probably going much lower. Probably gonna lose around 40% of your position. I know it's very hard to see that perspective when in the mindset that you're probably in right now. It's probably easier for you to think, where can I sell above? But you gotta ask yourself, where do I need to sell below? Because it can go to 0, you never know. Maybe something very weird is going to happen with the code in BAT. Maybe some news come out that the BAT browser, the Brave browser, is some crazy weird crypto malware or whatever, and it's gonna go to 0, right? So you gotta be prepared for that. Like, you're risking your whole position without stop loss. And a long-term position should be a long-term position with risk management. So if you're in a long-term position, this drop right here, maybe it shouldn't be like, maybe that should be like 2 or 3% of your portfolio, right? So you're gonna make, maybe 5 or 10% of your portfolio if it reaches these levels, right? So hopefully that explains it clearly. Let's take a look at Link USDT and Link BTC. We're gonna start off by taking a look at Link USDT. And also, guys, do you have any long-term all composition? It would be awesome to publish. Every goddamn time, like every time I pull up the link shot, something has happened that makes me go, what the fuck, right? Every time. Right, so Bitcoin is looking like this, right? So Bitcoin did this, and right, so this is Bitcoin, this is Link, this is Bitcoin, this is Link. Bitcoin did this, and Link did this. I mean, this is crazy. There's like no. It's like this wick never happened. It just, calmly but very fast, it went down and took out some, and got some buy orders down here, and then slowly but steadily continue a little stroll to heaven, right? Weird. I mean, Bitcoin isn't really looking like that. It's this losing lost the market structure in the 4-hour. I'm very glad that you enjoyed the little short explanation, man. So that's the thing, like, you guys that are members of the Birdness, you're obviously gonna get, priority. So if you're tagging me in the Nest Club or in the Discord or whatever, you're obviously gonna get priority when asking questions, and I'm 100% gonna give you guys the time, even if this is a public live stream. You guys know that you are going to get the the time necessary to explain these types of concepts, because you're actually the paying customers, right? You're actually the guys that are paying to get these get the views, right? So and I really do enjoy helping you guys, because like the Birdness, you're members are amazing. Like the team members, I really think they are really great traders, and the atmosphere and the positivity and the winning attitude in the Burb Nest really, I can honestly say that after joining, I've been in the Burb Nest now for I think a year. Yeah, I think I joined, well, almost a year, and it had really took my whole trading, like my personal trading, to a whole nother level. And that's a lot of that are, you know, is thanks to you guys, because of the attitude and the energy in. So don't thank me, I gotta be the one to thank you guys. Alright, so long-term position doesn't mean that there has to be a stop loss, hence the position can be kept on an exchange, or just buy and transfer to ledger. Well, a long-term position, if you gotta specify like what's a long-term position for you. In my opinion, a long-term or a investment position could be, you know, 6 months to 10 years, right? And if that's the type of long-term position you're talking about, obviously you're probably not going to be using a stop loss, because maybe that long-term position is quite big, and you're averaging into that position and you're filling a quite big bag. So maybe, I mean, obviously that's not going to be on a exchange, right? So it don't really make sense to use a hard stop other than an alert, right? But I mean, it's very risky to have long-term positions on altcoins. I don't have any long-term position on altcoins. The only long-term position I have is on Bitcoin. I think that's the way it should be. I think it's way too risky to have a long-term else than Bitcoin. Maybe Link, like seriously. Maybe it's time for me to open up a fat long-term position on. I don't care if it's at all-time highs. This is insane. I mean, the bullishness of this shot is unbelievable. I really did think we were going to get a retest of this level down here. That never happened. We retested this one, and this dump, the wick right here, never even took out this low. I mean, it still kept bullish market structure on the daily. That's crazy. That's just insane. Even on the 4 hour, even with this wick keeping the 4 hour uptrend bullish, that's unbelievable. So Link is really strong, and I'm just gonna have to open up a position Link if we take out previous highs. I mean, I have to, because why not? I mean, every time I pull up the Link chart on stream for you guys, I keep telling myself like, why the fuck didn't I buy Link? Like every time. So next time I'm not gonna be a pussy. I'm just gonna buy it, right? So whenever we break above this area, the let's say $9 range, so the highest, right, I'm gonna be looking for a break and retest. I'm just gonna enter right there, because that's just I need to. I need to be a Link. Yeah, I'm not getting paid by Link or something like that, but it's just right here is just extremely bullish. So Link USDT break above $9, and we will most likely see continuation to the upside. That's when I will long probably enter 50% on a breakout and 50% rest on a rounded retest. Now let's take a look at Link BTC. There we go. If you haven't already, like the video. I know I keep talking about that, and maybe you've already everyone Link. Maybe you've already like it, so I'm just gonna stop bothering about you guys about that. So Link BTC. Well, yeah, this is actually looking very good. Sure, we have benchmark structure on the daily. Yeah, it might not look that good. It's hard not to be bullish on Link, but it's also hard to buy something that just keeps going up every day. Like every time you look at the chart, it's just higher than it was before. And I'm waiting for a retest, and it never happens. it's hard for me to buy something when you're expecting. So on Link BTC, I think we in this area. Looking very, very good on the 4 hour. We got a bullish break in market structure on the 4 hour. We're breaking above these highs right here, and this is now, you know, confirmation of a bullish market structure, I would say. So this is quite good. I would probably be looking at a retest of this area if we trade lower. But really, the area that needs to get reclaimed is this level above. So the retest below would be 71,105, and the reclaim of 7777, lots of sevens, would be very bullish. So 77777, yeah, reclaim 77777, and we'll see continuation upside probably. I'm gonna be looking at entering along right there. So now let's take a look at Tomo. Right. Yeah, I always miss Link for some. It's like I people are too bullish on Link, but it starts. It's really getting to me. So maybe it's time for me to start getting bullish on Link. I've been in a quite bearish mindset on a whole of crypto lately because Bitcoin was looking quite bearish, honestly. But right now it's looking extremely bullish. It's time to enter all crypto markets. All right. What Tomo BTC on Binance. So we are approaching an thing. This is also, you know, a method I use to really keep it simple. Most of the time when I open up a new shot, I like to just remove everything and start from scratch, right? So I add all the new levels again, and they're probably going to be a bit different this time than the last time, but I really need to keep it simple. And by keeping it simple, I mean using as few indicators and as few levels on the shot as possible, because really I'm like the only, yeah, I can't really comment on that, Mark, because I honestly, like, it's just weird, and I don't have enough experience with that to even comment on that. It's just weird, right? But so there's this company or whatever going around on Twitter paying people to post FUD on Link, and I think that's maybe that's just to get price, you know, to drive price lower, to keep buying lower. But it feels like a weird strategy. It feels weird. Like, why would you want to do that? It's just so quite embarrassing too, because people get caught, and it's just what a shit show, right? That's it's fine. Like, if you're a really shitty trader, if you can't make shit trading, maybe it's a good idea to start messaging large account, whatever. But if you know what you're doing in trading, you don't have to be messing around with that shit. I mean, you make money trading, so you don't care about that stuff, right? But on Homo chain, it's from a daily perspective right here, it's not looking too great, actually. It's not looking too good. And we're going to be keeping on for about 30 minutes. So we've done an hour right now. I'm thinking tonight's live is going to be like 1 hour and 30 minutes. So we're going to be doing like 30 minutes. If you guys have more short requests or anything else you want me to take a look at, leave a comment in the comment section. I'll take a look at them. I'm also going to take a look at the BTC dominance, of course, and we're going to talk about how the BTC dominance affects you know, the altcoin market and how it looks right now. So Tomo BTC, it's not looking too good. Let's add the moving averages right here. So bouncing up to 55. The uptrend started down here, so it makes sense to use that low for the RLC. We have to use this high all the way up here. So, well, I'll be damned. This is not looking that bad. So we're actually bouncing off the 618 perfectly here. We're gonna go down into the 4 hour and we're going to see if we can find any bullish market structure. All right, so if we can establish bullish market structure right here, we can consider this bounce of the 618 be the bounce of the RLC, right? And when you get that, you could be pretty sure that you're going to get upside, right? Got that level, we're gonna put it, that seems like a good area. So I would like to see a reclaim of this area for Tomo BTC. So the level is going to be 8,230. So if we can get a 4 hour open and close above 8,230, I think this one is going higher, and this area right here around 8,230 would be a good level to enter on a rounded retest on the 4 hour. All right, Tomo versus USDT. Yeah, we probably got something similar on this one. Yeah, so this one is obviously going to be a bit different. Because I mean, yeah, the RLC makes no sense to have a retest all the way down here. I mean, that would be brutal. But what I can say is we're just gonna use, so we got that wick right there and that wick. So we're just gonna put a level right there because I like how that lines up with this area right here. We're gonna zoom in on that area. We're gonna get the 4 hour. I mean, we have a level right here, so that's a pretty good wick to support. Got bought up pretty quickly here. But what I want to see now is a reclaim of at least this area. You can kind of see how, you know, got the 4 hour open and close above, but you broke down. But really, this is the area that you need to claim. Let's just put it at 9. I think that makes sense. Let's 9 like that. So we break below 0.77. We're probably going to see this trend continue to the downside. And in that case, the retracement could be way lower. And if we reclaim 0.9, probably going to see continuation to the upside and take out the local highs. And I would even say 1.15. 1.15 would probably be a area for this. All right, so that's it. That's Tomo versus BTC, and we also took a look at Tomo versus USDT. And now we're gonna take a look at the BTC dominance, and we're also gonna just go, you know, do a quick scan of the altcoin market. Quick look at Bitcoin. Nothing new right here. Not looking too bad. Not looking too bad. On Rune, look. Oh, you mean Rune USD? Yeah, sure. Rune USD and OTUSD, right? Quick look at the BTC dominance first. Yeah, so the Bitcoin dominance is really falling pretty heavily. This is really, really good for altcoins. Really, really good for altcoins. Really crazy to see the altcoin dominance drop like this. This is reminiscent of strong alt season that I remember back in 2017, right? It's really that type of feeling getting from. So let's just do a quick scan of the altcoin market. So what I'm going to do is I'm just get a green list here with some interesting potential ideas. Algo, obviously not something that I would have wanted to see, but we are still inside the long RLC, so I'm gonna be keeping this one on my radar. And if we start trading up, out of the RLC again, I would start to consider this one again. Yeah, I mean, it must be because of the whole centralized finance hype or whatever, because probably be, I mean, if you look at Ethereum, right? Ethereum, this is probably, like, for real, can you imagine getting stopped out on this fucking trade? This is a tough one, right? I took this trade middle of last month. I got stopped out, and I mean, yeah. I remember adding this in my journal. I remember telling myself, like, if you have 2 stop loss levels, always use the lower one. Always use the lower one, because it's really the one that makes more sense. Be conservative, better safe than sorry, right? And it has to be because of this, right? The altcoin dominance dropping has to be because of this, right? Ethereum is really going crazy. LTCBTC, we got LTC. This one is too looking very bullishly. We got XRP-BTC. Yeah, I mean, this is something, right? We got ADA. Well, here we got something that hasn't really pumped like crazy. Yeah, I mean, it's insane. Let's just continue with this quick scan here. XLM is trying to catch up here. This is quite interesting. Definitely gonna be keeping a closer look on this one. I'm gonna narrow down my list here. We got Algo, BAT, definitely interesting. WTC, not interesting anymore. KMD, is KMD interesting? Not at all. LM, yes. ADX, well, I can't. No. REQ, this one I like. Oh, we're gonna take a look at RLC too. I remember posting this one on Twitter. Sadly, that didn't happen, because I thought this would have been a great setup if we get the reclaim of the 618. That never happened, obviously, but we're still inside the long RLC, so that's going to happen probably sooner than later. Right, so REQ. Not really. You know what? We'll go through the market scanner in the Verbna, so we can find any setups using the market scanner. Right. Oh, that's right. I had 2 short requests too, so we're gonna take a look at Rune versus USDT. Is it this one? All right. So where do we have price action on this? We can take a look at this one. Well, I mean, that's not Maybe you wanted me to look at Rune versus BTC. No, USDT. Rune used. Well, we got some more price action here. I can't really do any analysis on, like, it got listed like a, not even 2 weeks ago. It's very weird for me to make an analysis on this. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's only thing I can say is this, right? Reclaim that area and we are good to go for, right? Claim 0.48 and we can probably see a move up, but got too little price data to really do some proper TA on this one for me. So next up is Coty. This one has way more price action, right? Price data, yeah. So this one is looking much better, right? So obviously this was the support area that we bounced off, something like that. At the 4 hour, it's quite good. But the area that we need to reclaim is this one, right? So we need to get above 0.043. So 0.4043, we also have a area right here. Right there. Up to reclaim this red box resistance and we have a break in market structure and we are most likely going to go higher, and in that case I would at least go up to this area and then later all-time highs, right? Is it all-time highs? Yeah. That's what I'm looking at for Coty. Reclaim, let's say 0.043 something, and or just 0.044, and we got upside. All right, so I think I'm actually starting to get done with the stuff I wanted to take a look at today. I want to take a look at Bitcoin on the low time frame also. So we're gonna be removing the RLC right here, and we're gonna talk about the hourly chart, where we OMG for me to go right. Yeah, we'll take a look at OMG. Is that OMG versus BTC or USDT? OMG. Oh, I can't pronounce it. But really, OMG is definitely a crypto. This is nice. I like this one. Really do like this. Well, thanks for bringing this to my attention, because this is beautiful. This is beautiful. Now, what I want to see when I'm going to add the moving average right here, you're gonna see a yellow line. Now that yellow line represents the weekly 21 exponential moving average, right? So what I want to see now is for the 21 EMA to come in, like this. If that's the case, I'm gonna be buying this. If, however, the 21 EMA comes in like this, I'm not gonna be buying this. So let's see, where do we have the 21 EMA on a weekly? Well, what do you know? Like, fucking perfect, right? This is just unbelievable. So what you're seeing right here is the first retest of the 21 EMA on the weekly, confluent with a very strong support and resistance area that has acted, or what we first broke down in the like in July 2019, right? So this is actually looking very, very good. We have to would you guys be buying this? Like, I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Like, is this something that you would be buying? And if you've been following me for a while, you probably know that this is probably something that you'll be buying, because it's pretty perfect high time frame rounded retest. It's the first hit on the weekly. We broke above this area in the 18th of May 2020, and we're testing it just now. So that's a long time for a rounded retest, right? So let's see, what do we have here? Like, it's looking extremely beautiful. It's just, this is exactly what you want to see in a chart. Now let's go to the daily, and we want to add moving averages to the daily chart too. Now what I'm watching on the daily chart is most of all, I like to watch the 200 simple and the 200 EMA. Now, if either of those, if the 200 simple or the 200 EMA is confluent with the 21 EMA and the weekly, that's jackpot, right? That's the perfect confluence, right? That's just absolutely beautiful. We already have the confluence between the support and resistance area. I don't even think I have to mark out the level on the chart, because it's just so obvious, right? So let's add the moving averages, and we're gonna see what we get. Well, what do you know? The 200 exponential is in perfect confluence with the 21 EM and the weekly. Confluent with the support and resistance area. No, not really. Like, seriously, when trading crypto like this, I don't like. I've had the RSI and the MACD on the chart. I've taken a look at it and I tried to implement it in my trading style. But the problem is, I always find myself not using it, right? I always find myself finding good setups without having to use it. So I've just removed it. I don't use it anymore. It's not something that helps me, get a better win rate or make more money. It just takes more time, and it's, for me, kind of makes me deviate from the plan of keeping it as simple as possible, right? Because that's really what trading is all about. Keep it simple. All right, so I'm not done with ETHBTC. This is looking phenomenal here. So when do we when do we want to buy? Well, like, would you want to be buying right now? I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, it's looking very, very good, but let's see if we can get some bullish market structure first on the lower time frames, right? So we've looked at the moving averages on the weekly and the daily, and we now know that we have the weekly 21 EMA and the daily 21 EMA in perfect confluence with this support and resistance area right here. So we're gonna add a level right here. So what I would be using here is, I probably gonna be using this high right here to this high up here, and we're gonna extend it to the right, and we're gonna extend it to the left, and we're gonna see first on a weekly perspective, does this make sense? And I think it looks okay. We also have to add a level right here, because it's obviously the next support below. So if we break below this area, we're gonna hit this one, right? From a daily perspective, this, in my opinion, makes perfect sense. But it's still very important to remember that we have major support below. Now, that's a good indication of why I wouldn't be buying this blindly. We're also going to add the RLC and the 50% fib to see where those are. And I mean, goddamn, look at this. We have the 21 EMA on the weekly and the 200 EMA on the daily, confluent with the 618 of this whole move, confluent with this horizontal level. I think that's just very good. So what I would be looking for is a break in market structure. I very rarely use trend lines in my analysis, but when looking at something like this, it kind of makes sense, right? So I'm looking at this trend as an indication of a possible break in market structure. And I'm also going to be viewing this level right here as the resistance that needs to get reclaimed for this market structure to turn bullish, right? We then have a setup, right? Now how wide would that stop loss be? We have a pretty nice setup here. We could be entering this one for the longer term in case this really is the start of the alt season. If this really is alt season, I mean, that's probably a very good entry. And you know, guys, alt season, you know what that means? That means alts are going to go crazy, right? So the targets would be probably this area, and this area. That's going to be a 200% move, a 22-hour trade. This is probably going to take, you know, maybe a month or two. But with this risk to reward ratio, it's definitely most likely a very good idea. Alright, so I think this is a good ending of tonight's webinar. I'm going to leave you with this very, very bullish shot on OMG. But if you're going to be buying this like right now, please use a very small position size and please do not risk more than 1% or even 0.5% of your portfolio because the market structure is still very bearish. If you however see a break in market structure and rounded retest on the 4-hour, you can increase your risk to maybe 2%. But please do not enter this with a large position because that's suicide. Like, this one can very, very likely go back down inside this range. So you gotta wait for confirmed bullish market structure and a rounded retest with a confirmed bounce. Alright guys, I want to give you guys a huge thank you. Like it's really a pleasure doing these live streams for you guys. You guys really rock. And if you haven't already, leave a like on the video, and I will be doing a webinar tomorrow in the Burb Nest for the exclusive Burb Nest members, where I'm of course gonna follow up on this one, and I think I want to talk about break and retest I use it. I'm also gonna cover you know, a couple of forex setups that I'm watching. So that's gonna be around 8 UTC, so 8 p.m. UTC, so it's gonna be early in the morning for me too. So yeah, looking forward to doing that with you guys, and I'm yeah, ready to sign off. So take care guys, and see you in the webinar tomorrow in the Burb Nest. If you're not in the Burb Nest, you can reach out to me and I will get you a free trial so that you can watch the webinar tomorrow. Alright guys, love you all, take care, see you guys next time.